fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing when you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing, brought to you in part by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Ray Marine Electronics, Ray Marine, simply superior. Fast Fender, the easiest way to attach and adjust your fender. Easy Docker, docking made easy. You know, we're just starting, the sun has just come up and we're in about 80 feet of water. You see these marks that are down here? These are lake trout, and they're feeding on bait fish that are right on the bottom, suspended up top here too. So there's tons of bait fish. Aldo said that the fish that he's been landing have been regurgitating a mixture of alewife and gobies. So because the conditions are good, we're actually running the motor guide for trolling because we're trying to keep our cannonball down. I want to see if we can get some nice lake trout. So Aldo's keeping the boat at about 1.8 miles an hour, so that those cannonballs are close to the bottom. Those are actually the fish. See how those lake trout are literally laying on the bottom? I think they're staging. They're actually down there, they're feeding, but they're not actively cruising suspended. You see the odd small fish up top. You know, I love to fish all over for different species of fish, both in saltwater and freshwater, warm water fish and cold water fish. But one of my highlights every year is fishing with my good friend Aldo Nava. We've actually been fishing together over 20 years. One of the things that I love to fish with Aldo is because he does all the riggings. He's so used to rigging everything on his charter boats that he brings the rods down, he sets the downrigger up, he sets the dipsy divers up, the long lines with the lead core, and most of the time we just alternate. One of us drives the boat, the other one watches the rods to make sure that if a fish hits, we're on it right away. But most of all, we have a ton of fun. Aldo, I love the way you give it stick.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you have honors. You got dibs on first fish.
Thanks.
I said little guy. That's not a little guy. Aldo, you're amazing. I just saw you control the boat and everything. Okay, we're gonna get him in the net. Good, I love these long handle nets. Nice lake trout. These are gorgeous fish. You know that, Aldo?
Yeah, they are.
What a nice lake trout. Gorgeous fish. Okay, you know what? We don't want to keep them too long out of the water. Yep.
Down he goes.
He'll go down. Perfect.
He's down.
Now, you know, I love this setup. This is your go-to, right?
That's the go-to for Lakers, yeah.
Do you call it a gang troll or a Christmas tree? We're just going to show everybody
Christmas tree, a cowbell, and peanut. They got so many different names.
Why do they call it cowbell?
I don't know.
Actually sounds like the leash on Mulligan and River,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But this is what you actually use. It looks like a school of bait fish when it's going along the bottom. And then this is funny. Why do they hit this?
I don't know.
All
But
it does is spin around. It's a spinning globe.
But they use this in the rivers in BC for salmon.
For Chinooks. Yeah, well, we use a big one and we put a chunk of ski
You would
eggs.
think you catch salmon out here with it, but I've never caught a salmon on it.
I know. But that's in the river.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's almost like if you use skiing out here, you wouldn't catch anything.
Right.
But you use skiing in the river and you get
Yeah.
fish. But guys don't use these in the river, though, like in the rivers here.
No, they don't.
I bet you if they did, they'd probably get Chinooks.
Probably.
You know, it's a great setup. You know, most fishermen that go out on Lake Ontario, and especially the customers that Aldo has on his charter boat, really want to get salmon. And out of the salmon species, they want to get Chinooks. But we're fishing this time for trout species. So we're trying to get some lake trout and also some rainbow trout. You know, lake trout were really in danger going back about 50, 60 years ago because of the lamprey that came into the Great Lakes and especially Lake Ontario. They almost got wiped out. So our government has been aggressively stocking the lake trout and they've come back really well. As a matter of fact, now we have a flourishing lake trout fishery. What I'm excited about is having the downrigger. I only have one downrigger on the team boat, and when I'm not using it, all there is this bottom plate that's on the boat. So you can see this part right here is the actual swivel base. So if I push that lever down, I can actually turn it left or right. Right now it's hard to turn because I've got it under torque. But the Scotty downrigger is so easy to use. If I want to let line down, I just pull the sleever over. I'm not going to let a lot of line down, just a little bit. Come on, it's going to engage any second now. There it goes, line's going down and stop. If I want to pull the line up, I just manually touch the button or lock it into position and it pulls the line up. It's really nice to be able to either use your downrigger or when you take it off, if you don't want it to be in the way, that all you have is that one plate on the bottom. Great system. Closed captioning is brought to you by K100. We make water burn. It's so nice to get out with you. I know you've been fishing like every day.
Yeah, it's been,
you got to take some time off. You got to have a balanced lifestyle, Aldo.
Of course.
You got to get some golfing in.
Fishing and more fishing.
No, golfing. And how often do you go to the gym? Not that often?
The gym? What do I go to the gym for?
You get lots of arm exercise.
I get a lot of workouts out here.
Exactly. Yep, jumping around. So does it feel weird being in a smaller boat?
A little bit, yeah.
Than your big charter boat?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
And not having 15,000 rods rigged? Well, okay.
You can only get a choice of a few.
That's right.
And back down to the bottom we go.
This is awesome. Can you believe the day out here? How many miles offshore are we?
Oh, like 5 or 6 miles.
So Ken, look at the water. It's like oil. The line's pretty tight, so it can't roll in the line. I love the way you're controlling the boat so that we're keeping it away from our long line. You're doing a good job. A little bit different, eh, being in a small boat?
Yeah, a lot
Instead
different.
of being in your big charter boat. It's okay, though. We're still having fun, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Yep. Nice head shakes. I love the way that rod tip's bouncing. I see it.
We got color.
Yep. You done it.
We did it.
Nice, heavy fish. Small head, big fat body.
Yep.
Okay, don't want to keep it out long. Let's get the bore grip.
Just boat and grip on
You've
him.
done this before. I'm going to let you hold it. You got it?
Oh, yeah,
he's going to be
on.
okay? Okay, so slowly just drop him in there. Then we'll get the rigging out later. He might be okay, so we'll see here, because he came up from about 100 feet. So that water should be going over his gills. As soon as he starts, are we going slow enough?
Oh yeah, we're going plenty slow enough.
Okay, so as soon as he starts swimming upright, looks like he's kicking already.
Okay, we're gonna release him now, Italo. I think he's swimming pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Just gonna bring him up to the side of the boat here. We'll just kind of unclip him, just like that. And away he goes.
Gorgeous. I love to see him swim away like that. Lake trout are part of the char family, and I think they're beautifully colored. They call them sometimes gray trout, especially in Quebec. And that's because their overall back color is gray, but they have vermiculations, almost like a brook trout. And they have either a white or a gray belly. One thing that I love about lake trout, they have a big head and a big mouth, and they are very aggressive feeders.
Look, it's a rainbow.
Looks like a rainbow, beautiful.
Beautiful rainbow. Nice size to him,
Gorgeous fish. I'm gonna get right up here. Good sized fish. Okay, you don't mind leading it into the left here?
Nope.
A little bit more.
Don't mind.
Because I got the poles there.
Beautiful.
Yes. I'm gonna let it thrash a little bit so it calms down.
Long lead on that, so.
Man, that fish has lots of energy. I don't want to bring it in right away. Are you ready to grab it?
I'm ready. Whenever you're ready.
Look it. Hold it for 1 sec. What a nice female. Aldo, look it. Good
Beautiful
job.
fish.
Yeah. Look at how chrome he is. Here, wow. That
Could
is
be
a
a
gorgeous. She. That's right. Look at all the beautiful dots. Yeah, that's a beautiful silver fish.
Okay.
Okay, gently, we'll put it over.
I'm gonna just let her go back in.
She fought valiantly.
And she's gone.
Good. You know, rainbow trout, when they're caught in the Great Lakes, are sometimes referred to as steelhead. Sometimes you'll get a rainbow that you hook 40, 50 feet down, and when the rod starts pumping, the fish is already jumping out of the water. You know, sometimes I venture many miles offshore, especially in salt water. Sometimes I fish close to shore. One thing I've learned is that I want to make sure that my outboard runs reliably. And one of the main things to make sure is that you have good fuel. One of the products that I use is called K100. because sometimes you get water building up in your fuel. Sometimes it's in the fuel when you pump it, sometimes it builds up from condensation, and the last thing you want is to have issues starting your outboard, especially when you're miles offshore. The product that I'm talking about is K100, and I've used it for a long time. Not only does it make water burn, but it also makes your engine work more efficiently. Kevin, take it away.
Thank you, Italo. I would like to show real quick how K100 eliminates water and condensation from fuel, whether it's gas or diesel. And I'd like to pour a little bit of water in each one of these jars to represent water in the bottom of a fuel tank, whether it's on your boat, your lawnmower, your car, your jet ski. So now we have water in each one of these jars. I'd like to pour some of our competitors' products in, 2 of them. And because most of our competitors' products are petroleum-based, they may treat the fuel but do nothing to the water and the condensation that gets in the fuel. You can see where I pour this product in here, that the water is still on the bottom and the treatment sits on top, floats on top of the water. Again, because it is petroleum-based. Our second competitor's product, again, I'll pour it in. You will see that the water is still on the bottom, and our competitor's product sitting up top along with the fuel if you had fuel in there. And again, you can agitate it. That will not mix with that water or do anything to the water. K100 is not a petroleum-based product. It's an organic chemical. So if you have water in your tank and you pour our product K100 in, you'll see immediately a chemical reaction that takes place that is breaking the bond between the water molecules and encapsulating it with a permanent combustible shell. Ouch. Yes, there's a nice, clean, hot flame there.
I can hear it.
And that is burning that water, that used to be water, and that'll burn nice and clear all the way down to the bottom of that jar.
Yeah.
That's how we make water burn safely.
Look at it. I can see it sparkling. Don't burn yourself. Now everybody knows why it makes water burn.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
Raymarine Electronics. Raymarine, simply superior. Will it fall off? Speaking of shakers, oh, such a nice steelhead. Another female, very
Gorgeous,
slick, eh? Here, look how skinny it is, though. Isn't that amazing? Okay, you ready to shake it over the side?
Yep.
Don't get hurt on the hooks.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Great release. You know, one of the things that I've done on this team boat is add these rod holders. And what I like about the rod holders is that they're extremely strong. These are made by Scotties. So right now I have the actual rod holder in. There's a locking mechanism underneath that if I push it, I can pull the rod holder right out. The only thing that is left is this base. You know, I'm fortunate to be working with Team Boats. They're a Canadian boat company. They're actually built in Ontario. And the one thing that I like is that it's a multi-species boat. So I can fish for bass and use the platforms at the front and go into water that's a foot deep. Or I have a Scotty downrigger that I can mount on and I can use if I want to fish for deep water fish, even out in 300 feet of water. What do you think, Aldo?
Awesome.
Manfish?
Lift, lift. Lift the tail, lift.
Got a little bit of excitement. Come on. Aldo, good job.
He's beautiful.
Look at, what a gorgeous fish. You know, it's fun going on charters with you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that with you. It's a gorgeous steelhead.
Gotta make sure it's right in the center, because if it's on the side, it can drown the fish. So it has to be down the center, and this way it pulls them straight down the middle.
Yep.
And he'll just kind of hold there for a little bit. And
and then he'll get vertical.
He'll start kicking when he's ready to go.
No, I think that's really smart. You know, a lot of people contact me on Ask Italo and through our website and the YouTube channel. They make comments and they say, you know, we have a small boat. We want to catch some salmon and trout, you know, either lake trout up north. We want to catch some salmon in the Great Lakes, but we can't really put a downrigger on our gun whale. What do you suggest? And I tell them, well, you got a couple of options. One is to use diving devices, and one of the most popular is called a dipsy diver. It's a simple disc. that you can set to dive straight down or to dive away from the boat, port or starboard side of the boat. And the more line that you let out, depending on the size of the dipsy diver, the deeper it'll go. And when it reaches a certain depth, it stays there. Rod Runner Canada, grab and go fishing. You know, sometimes you want to go slower than the slowest speed that your outboard can troll at. Today we're targeting lake trout. We might get some salmon or rainbows, but we're really targeting lake trout close to the bottom. And we want to be anywhere from about 1.8 to about 2.2 miles an hour. So what we're doing, we're engaging the motor guide, but look, it's facing that way. We have it on course, so it's actually locked in to keep this course, and it's going against the motor. So at the back, we've got the 90 horsepower outboard. So this is actually slowing it down even beyond the slower speed that it can troll at. So for those of you that, especially walleye fish, let's say that it's calm and you control with the electric, like when we started today, but then the wind picks up and the electric is fighting into the wind. That's when you start the big motor, you put it as far as you can low in forward gear, and then you engage the electric going against it. So you keep them doing this opposing thing. So you don't have to put out a windsock, you don't have to, you know, even put a plate on your motor. If you have an electric like this one and you've got an outboard, no problem. Work with them together. That way you'll get just the right speed. Rigging is really important when it comes to fishing the Great Lakes, especially Lake Ontario, and especially if you're fishing for different type of trout. For example, when we fish for the lake trout, both Aldo and I will use what's called a gang troll, or cowbells. It's large blades that are all in line on a wire leader, anywhere from 2 to 3 feet long. And they all spin. Picture it as a large spinner. They spin underwater and they look like a school of fish, probably bait fish. Then behind that, we use something that floats because we fish the downrigger very close to the bottom for the lake trout. We either use a spinning globe or a shallow running crankbait that just wobbles from side to side. So for the lake trout, that works really well down deep. But when you fish for the steelhead, totally different story. You bring the lines up, and even if you're in 300 feet of water, you're only down 30 to 50 feet. And usually you run spoons, but they're no ordinary spoons. They're not like the spoons that you cast. They're very light. They're called Great Lakes fluttering spoons. So they're about the thickness of the pop can metal. They're usually rigged with a treble hook or a single hook. So we put those on, run them anywhere from about 10 to 20 feet back from the cannonball. And we try to experiment with different colors, and you'll know when you get the right color because you get a steelhead on right away. So the steelhead, like just a spoon or a cut head, or sometimes a flasher and a fly, but usually it's a spoon. The lake trout love the gang trolls. Even if you're fishing up north, you know, in some of the wilderness lakes and you're using lead core line to get to the bottom, the gang troll works really well because it attracts lake trout from a further distance, gets their curiosity, then when they come close, they follow and they hit the bait that you have at the back. So we've literally had fish on every rod, right? Every rig.
Every rig.
So spoons.
Spoons.
The gang troll for the lake trout.
Yep.
The artificial cut head.
Yep.
From
with
Lure
the flasher.
Jensen, with the flasher.
Yep.
The spoons have worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice that what I'm doing is I'm not reeling when the rod is down. I'm actually lifting up. Just like we do in saltwater. Pick up the line on the way down. If the fish wants to run, Aldo's got the drag set just right. Yep.
Ready?
Whenever you're ready.
You got him.
Good job. Wow. Look at, isn't that a gorgeous steelhead? Long fish. Lean though. Look at.
Got it.
Another nice look. And you know what? I'm gonna launch him over the side, okay?
Yeah, you
I think he's gonna be okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we should pull him.
Okay, let's pull him.
Yeah.
You're the captain. Hook him in the right spot.
Just,
you know, we're doing this to make sure that the fish is revived.
It's better for the fish.
Yep.
You let them go and they stay on the surface and then...
Yeah, no, we don't want that. We want to make sure. Because we have to take the hook out, we handle them a little bit. We want him to be... Oh, it's already starting to turn upright. Look at how nice he's swimming vertically. That tells you he's got lots of energy. So I'm just going to bring this up. Come here, you beautiful fish, you. And it should go real quick. A little bit out of the water. There he goes. Beautiful. Perfect release, You know, this is a custom built, it's called a team boat. This is the RAD 1640. The actual center line of the boat is 18 feet long. But what I wanted to show you is how we've outfitted. So it's 3/16" aluminum. It's made in Canada, in Bell, Ontario, and it's all welded. It's all one piece. It's amazingly built. But what I've done is we've decked it out with this product. It's called Sea Deck. You can see the logo right here. So even here as a backrest, this is like a foam. This one is about, I'm going to say, just over 1/4 inch. This one you can see is over 1/2 inch because it's the seat. And it's nice because Sea Deck can actually customize the actual material so that it's all embossed and everything. So you can see here there's a 1640 Canadian Sportfishing edition and this. So we have the Sea Deck here, here. You can see the floor pattern right here. We even have the boat logos and everything. But look, even here. So if I sit on the gunwale of the boat, it's perfect because it's non-slip, it's very easy to clean, and it's very durable. You know, sometimes when you get fish in deep water, especially when you reel them up quick or they actually swim up quick like rainbow trout, they can build up their air because 33 feet is an atmosphere. And when a fish comes down from, let's say, 80, 90 feet, like the lake trout that we're targeting, if you reel them in pretty quick, which is normal fighting, retrieve, especially when the boat is moving, sometimes when they come to the top, the gas expands, but it doesn't release out of their air bladder. So one of the things that we do to try to survive them, and we do the same thing in saltwater, you know, especially for tarpon and big fish that really fight hard, to revive them, instead of just holding them over the side, Aldo uses a boa grip, which is very smart. It's from Normark, and he has it on a rope about 5-6 feet long. So he takes the boa grip, which is very easy to attach to the jaws, slides it on the lower jaw of the fish without hurting it, and then the rope is attached to it, and he slides the fish in the water as we're trolling with all the other lines, and he makes sure that the rope is on the cleat. And then you'll see normally that the fish will be on his side initially, but then it'll actually turn, it'll right itself up, and then it'll start to swim, even with the flow. And as it's doing that, water is going inside its mouth and out its gills. And then when he looks like he's nice and refreshed, we pull the line in and just open the boa grip without taking really, you know, having to handle the fish. The fish drops off and swims away. Great way to release fish if you're getting them out of deeper water, especially trolling. Canadian Sport Fishing, brought to you in part by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Ray Marine Electronics, Ray Marine, simply superior. Fast Fender, the easiest way to attach and adjust your fender. Easy Docker, docking made easy.
He took a lot of line out, that guy. He's probably getting a little tired now.
If I walk back, is he coming quicker if I do this, like back motion? Doesn't help, no.
I find that you start doing that, you end up losing them. We don't want to do that.
Don't talk like, don't use the L word, okay?
Don't just fight him normal.
No L word.